Hello, and welcome to my presentation on sport specialization in youth and when is it too early by Levi Clay. This presentation is for senior seminar, and my professor is Jeanette Freight. The agenda today will be going over sport specialization in youth, when is it too early. We will cover the abstract, the introduction to the paper. We're going to define sport specialization, going to list reasons, professional influence, impact of early specialization, what the experts are saying on specialization, parents and coaches' role, social media and sport specialization, the risks of early specialization, the benefits of diversification in sport, some case studies, when to begin, professional and amateur pathways, parental guidance and support, and then we will follow with the conclusion. The overview of this presentation, we're going to debate on the timing of sport specialization in youth, considering both the benefits and the risks, the variation in sport specialization practices among many athletes, and the influence of early specialization on physiological and psychological health. This presentation is a contentious issue of youth sport specialization. It's going to highlight the growing trend and the associated risks of specialization in sport. It is aiming to inform readers about the potential physiological and psychological health hazards of early athlete specialization, stressing the importance of monitoring and moderation for the athlete. The competitive nature of youth sports. Emphasis on early engagement in sports, driven by a competitive environment. Parental aspirations for professional or collegiate success influences youth sport participation. The shift from recreational to highly structured sports programs. These points are emphasizing how the trends in sports specialization and how things are beginning to change. Parents are beginning to really push their athletes due to a multitude of reasons. And youth sports are trending in a way where they are becoming very structured environments that really are not focusing on the sole aspect of fun for adolescent athletes. Some benefits of diversification. Playing multiple sports fosters a diverse skill set and reduces risk of overuse injuries. Diversification enhances overall athleticism and can lead to a more balanced development. And the success of professional athletes who have a history of diversified sports participation. Adolescent involvement in sports. Many kids at an early age begin in physical after school activities. This allows them to create new friendships with friends and coaches and possibly even parents. And it allows them to begin to grow independence, to act on their own. The competitive nature of sports is often leading to early specialization in some cases. And parents' aspirations for their children to become professional athletes drives early specialization. Parents are a large cause of what's driving specialization. Possibly a failed athlete as a parent could really want his child to be what he couldn't be or follow his own dreams and not let the child follow their own dreams. So we're going to define sports specialization. It's defined as intensive year-round training in a single sport, excluding others, or at the expense of others. Meaning we for example, we're going to train baseball, but while we're in season for basketball, which is a completely different season than baseball, you're talking summer and winter. At the expense of basketball training, you're going to private training for baseball. That is sports specialization. It begins with small increments of time and often involves competing in school and club teams. The American Medical Society for Sports Medicine defines sports specialization as exclusive training in a single sport. Reasons for specialization. You want to transition to structured sports. Youth sports are beginning to be highly structured environments. They're not what we used to believe them as. Little leagues, not really little league, because you often have players who are also playing club ball outside of it, and they have this mindset that, oh, I'm better, I play for a club team. We're really putting an emphasis on early skill development in youth sports instead of teaching them basics of competing, um, and most of all, having fun for the children. Coaching strategies are also beginning to become more focused on competition and specialization. And at a young age, before puberty, we're talking before 12 years old, really, sports should not be about winning and losing at that age. They should be about developing fundamental skills. Parental and coaching pressures. Parents and coaches often put pressure on young athletes to succeed at elite levels. The introduction of unrealistic expectations contributes to the pressure on young athletes. These expectations include becoming a professional player or going to school on scholarship, which we know is really only about 3% on average, 3% of athletes go on to play at a Division One NCAA level. Parents are also beginning a large investment in time and money towards specialization, which adds to the pressure on young athletes. When someone's spending a lot of money on you, you want to succeed. And if you aren't succeeding, that is hurting the parent as well. Media influence for specialization. Professional athletes have a large visibility in social media, and they serve as role models for young athletes. Endorsement deals and lifestyle of professional athletes shape aspirations of youth. Social media platforms have amplified the influence of professional athletes on the younger generation. Aspirations and guidance. The success of professional athletes inspires young athletes to dream big and strive for success in their chosen sport. Professional athletes often act as mentors through their work ethic and dedication, and their journey guides young athletes on the path towards specialization and excellence. Impact of early specialization. Physiological health risks. Early specialization can lead to overuse injuries like shoulder and elbow problems in sports such as baseball and tennis. The risk of overuse injuries significantly increases when young athletes exceed the recommended training hours per week. And this recommended training hours per week varies. It's anywhere from, at most, it's 16 hours per week. But some sources say you should not go over your age. So a 12-year-old should not go over 12 hours per week in training. Intense year round training in a single sport, as seen in early specialization, is correlated with a higher risk of injuries. There are also psychological health risks in specialization. It can result in burnout, anxiety, and depression in young athletes. The pressure to succeed at a high level from a young age can lead to significant stress and mental health issues. Isolation from non sports activities can also impact social development and overall well being. Expert opinions on specialization. Most of the research done on specialization is based off of Niru Jayanti's research. He did a large survey of elite young athletes, and it found parents were a strong influence of their sport. Coaches influence training decisions as well, and that aligns with parents' aspirations. Aspirations, sorry. Early sport specialization before puberty correlates with higher injury risks. Charles A. Popkins also did his research based off Jayanti's research. He found that Division One athletes often played multiple sports in high school, with first sport differing from NCAA sport. Specialization typically occurs in later adolescence, with most athletes having a history of multiple sport participation. The process of specialization was much later than adolescence, with the majority of athletes having played multiple sports through age 16. Parents and coaches' role. Parental aspiration and investment. Parents often aspire for their children to excel in sports, driven by the desire for a collegiate or professional path. This aspiration leads to a significant time and financial investment in the child's sporting activities. The pressure to succeed at elite levels contributes to the push for early sport specialization. Coaches also put pressures and expectations on these young athletes. Coaches, especially at the youth level, may have unrealistic expectations for young athletes to achieve high levels of success. Competitive nature of sports and the desire to win can influence coaching decisions towards specialization. And the balancing development and success at a young age is a challenge for both parents and coaches. Social media and sports specialization. Social media platforms expose young athletes to content that glorifies professional athletes and their specialized skills. Athletes often use social media to showcase their training routines and techniques, serving as a blueprint, for aspiring young athletes. The popularity of professional athletes on social media can drive young athletes towards early specialization in hopes of achieving similar success. Social media also facilitates access to coaching and training resources, encouraging young athletes to focus on single sport training. Some more risks of specialization. Physical injuries. Overuse injuries are common in specialized athletes, such as elbow, tennis elbow, and stress fractures. Repetitive motions in specific sports can lead to long term issues like shoulder and knee injuries or joint injuries. The risk of injury increases with the intensity and duration of training in a single sport. Once again, psychological stress. Early specialization results in burnout, anxiety, and depression. Um, Developmental benefits. Learning a diverse set of skills from varied sports, enhancing overall athleticism and coordination, developing a more comprehensive understanding of sportsmanship and teamwork, injury mitigation and longevity, reducing the risk of overuse injuries through cross training, allowing time for recovery and growth, lowering the chance of burnout, and promoting physical and mental well being through varied physical activities. Some case studies. Injury risks such as overuse injuries and psychological stress are significantly higher in young athletes who specialize in a single sport early. Early specialization leads to burnout, anxiety, and depression in athletes, affecting both physical and mental health. The pressure to excel in a single sport can result in athletes neglecting other aspects of their development, leading to a long term negative consequence. Early specialization. Higher risk of overuse injuries, increased pressure to perform at elite levels, and limited opportunity for social development. Diversification reduces risk of injuries and by engaging in a variety of sports. It promotes holistic development, including social skills and coordination from different activities, and enhances long term athletic success by developing a diverse skill set. Evidence suggests specialized post puberty for elite success, diversification in early years aids later specialization. The 10,000-hour rule does not directly apply to sports. Some research findings are Division 1 athletes played multiple sports in high school, specialization process was later in adolescence, and elite athletes had diverse early sport experiences. Some parental guidance and support. Encourage your child to participate in a variety of sports, supporting your child's decisions and goals, and avoid imposing unrealistic expectations. Emphasize the importance of enjoying the sport and the process of improvement rather than just winning and success. Openly communicate with your child about their sports experience and seek guidance from coaches and sports professionals on the best practice for your child's development and health. Some more risks of sports specialization are stress fractures and tendonitis. Repetitive motions in baseball and swimming can lead to overuse injuries. The risk of burnout increases with sport specialization. Conclusion. Sport specialization in youth can lead to significant risks, both physically and psychologically. While some degree of specialization is necessary for elite success, the timing and extent of specialization should be carefully monitored to avoid overuse injuries and burnout. Diversifying a young athlete's sports participation can reduce the risk of injuries and enhance their overall development and enjoyment of sports. Also, it is necessary for an athlete to specialize in sport, as evidence suggests, but delaying the onset of specialization is most likely the best way to success. Most athletes that go on to the next level are, as I said, athletes and not just great at the single sport they're doing. They're great across a multitude of sports because they're athletic and do not only have one set of skills. Thank you.